Hello and welcome to another instalment from the Silver Citizen. I'm going to be talking about the fixtures today, which came out on Thursday. City start their defence away to West Ham. Last time that happened, we won 5-0. Last time we played West Ham away on the opening day, so that's a good omen. And to be honest with you, I think we'll win. I know West Ham recently have got quite a good record against us at their ground. Not so much in winning, but drawing a lot. But I honestly can't see anything other than a City victory in that game. Since Sheikh Mansour took over the club, which was the 1st of September 2008, I know the first game City played, since he took over, we got beat off Chelsea. I know the opening game in that season we got beat off Villa, but he wasn't in charge. The opening game, as far as anything's concerned, when Sheikh Mansour took over the club, we've played 13 so far. 13 opening matches since he took over. We've won 11, we've drew 1, and we've lost 1. The 2 that we didn't win was Tottenham away both times. Last year we got beat 1-0, and in Mancini's opening season, first season in charge, first full season, the year we won the FA Cup, we drew 0-0 with Spurs away from home. Other than that, every single opening day fixture that we've played while Sheikh Mansour has owned the club, we've won. Every single one of them. I expect that to continue. I do think we'll win. Then we've got an home game against Bournemouth. We do well against Bournemouth anyway. I can't really see Bournemouth giving us any problems. Same with Newcastle. In years to come, Newcastle might cause us a bit of a challenge, but I don't think they'll do it this year. I don't think they'll do it with Eddie Howe as manager. Eddie Howe as manager, I don't think is going to cause City that many problems. Pep Guardiola knows how to get results against the guy. I don't think he breathes the confidence into his players that he believes he can get a win against a side managed by Pep or against a side managed by Klopp. I see the look in the eyes of players that have played for Eddie Howe, whether that be Bournemouth or Newcastle last year. You can see the look in their eyes, and for me, they've already lost the game. They have this look in their eye that they aren't really that confident they're going to get a result. I don't think they'll get one. I don't think it'll be 4 or 5-0 or a whitewash or whatever, but I do think City will get the victory. Then we've got Palace at home. Now, Palace might have took 4 points off us last year. We might not have been able to score a goal against Palace last year, at least one that was not allowed by VAR. But I don't think that'll be the case this year. The team that plays against Crystal Palace in the end of August, it depends. We've already got Alvarez and Haaland through the door. I think Haaland will bang in a couple of goals, if I'm brutally honest. If we create the kind of chances we did against Crystal Palace last year, not so much in the home game, but definitely the away game. And if you look at last season, the season before that, the teams that beat us at our ground, Man United, we smashed them 4-1. Leeds, we smashed them 7-0. Leicester, we were 4-0 up at half time. Alright, we won 6-3. But I don't really think City came out in the second half with the intensity of winning. It was almost a kind of attitude of, we're 4-0 up. We haven't conceded 4 goals in one half at any point in junction with Pep Guardiola as manager. I don't think we conceded 4 goals in one half with Mancini as manager, and I'm about 75% certain we didn't concede 4 goals in one half with Pellegrini as manager. So I don't really think the players came out switched on 100%. I think within about 15 minutes of Leicester bringing it back to 4-3, the players thought, hang on a minute here. We better get our heads in the game. And until we made it 5-3, there was a couple of times when Leicester came close to equalising. I think if Leicester had equalised, we'd have got beat and it would have been an embarrassment. But it didn't happen. I don't think City will make that mistake again. I don't think City made that mistake throughout the rest of the season. I don't think City will make that mistake that being 4-0 up, this game's over. I think Leicester did us a favour that game. At this moment in time, I don't think Palace will get anything but defeat. However, there are rumours flying around at the minute that some imbecile at City has decided it would be a good idea to fly the team out in between the games against Newcastle and Crystal Palace to play an unimportant, useless friendly against Barcelona. Why? We're going to have our games congested anyway. We're going to have to stick so many weeks of football in and have so many games played anyway because of the international break of the World Cup. And then, I think it's the end of May 28th, if I'm not mistaken, the final Premier League game. If we were to get to a final in the FA Cup or Champions League, then our season ends in June. And then knowing that we're back 3 weeks later to prepare for the following season, and you're adding an extra game when the season's already started, what intellectual decided that? You want to have a friendly with Barcelona where it's to raise money for Barcelona because we all know they're in debt, they need the money. Do it before we play Scummy Pool in the Charity Shield. Now, if these rumours are true, because there's not anything about it yet on the City website, there's nothing there in the fixtures, there's nothing there in the news, it's just someone's decided to say Barcelona are playing City on the 24th of August. It's gained momentum, but there's nothing on the City website. If it turns out to be true, and any one of our players gets injured, the person that agreed to it, that thought it would be a good idea, should be fined 6 months' wages. If we lose to Palace, then they should be fired for knowing absolutely nothing about football, and it's not Pep. I can tell you that now. This is more than likely the same type of dickhead that thought it would be a good idea for City to join the European Super League. Whoever it is should be fired. If it doesn't go through and there's nothing there, then it's just paper talk and forget it. Anyway, I think if it is paper talk, which I'm hoping to God it is, I do think we'll beat Palace. If it's not paper talk, I'd send over the under-15s. Let them play in a charity match. Play your kids. Play Kieran Slicker in goal. Wilson has Brand at left back. CJ Egan-Riley at right back, Callum Doyle and Luke Mbete in the middle, Romeo Lavia, James McAtee, Cole Palmer in the midfield three, Sammy Adoza, Liam Delap, and can't remember the guy's name that I'm thinking of. He played for the under-18s last year. Give me 1 minute while I look this up. Mebood. Abdidiah Mebood. Have him on the right. Keep all your main stars at home. So you know what, you've got to rest. Turn around to whoever fills in the gap left by Juanma Lilo, because he's left, to go over and coach the side, and Pep stays coaching the first team ready for Palace. Show Barcelona the same disdain that Tabaz has shown for City. Why should we help out his teams? Anyway, after Palace we've got Forest at home. Can't see us having any problems with that. Yes, Forest will still be on an high. They've come into the Premier League. They'll all be free-flowing. But the good news is they'll be coming out to attack. They'll be coming out to get at us, attack, cause us problems and all the rest of it. It won't be the type of game that, later on in the season where they think, you know what, if we can keep them out and get a 0-0, that's a fantastic result for us. So I think they'll leave themselves open at the back. Teams get promoted usually do. Sometimes it works for them and they get some good results and get themselves a bit of a gap that they can hold on to and keep Premier League status. I think doing it against City will be a mistake for Forest. I think they'll do it because, like I said, they'll be on an eye. They'll want to give the fans something to shout about. And I think when it gets to about 2 or 3-0, that's when they might, well, let's shut up shop. Because we never know, at the end of the season, goal difference could come into it. But I think we'll win. And the same with the game after that. Aston Villa away. I think we'll get 3 points there. I think, personally, we'll get 18 points from our first 6 games. I think at the very least, we'll get 16. I can't see us getting beat off anyone in the opening 6. I think we'll either win 6 or win 5 and draw 1. So that's my opinion on the opening 6 fixtures anyway. In other news, as I said a minute ago, Juanma Lilo has left to be head coach at Al Sadd. Best of luck to him, all the best. And I personally think that's good news. I do. I heard Pep turn around before now and say that he had a meeting with Alex Ferguson when he was on his sabbatical. Alex gave him some advice and something, not about coaching or anything like that, but handling player situations, which, Pep, a new manager at the time, was wondering if he handled some situations right or they could have been handled better. he stated, I think it was while he was at Bayern Munich, he stated this, and they were talking about a meeting with Alex Ferguson, and had he asked him to join Man United, and he said he didn't think so. They spoke about management. Fergie gave him some advice on handling player situations and other such likes. Now, he might have also, I'm not saying, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever that was discussed, what player situations or anything like that, but I have heard Ferguson turn around and say the reason he changed his first team coach is because players get bored of listening to the same voice every day. And if you want to keep things fresh, it's the first team coach that takes training. Obviously, it's the manager that decides how the training's going to go and everything like that, but the first team coach takes training. And so they're hearing a different voice without having to change manager, they change the first team coach. Maybe he said that to Pep, because Ferguson said it's best to change the first team coach every 2 to 3 years. Keeps things fresh. Now, after that, he went with the same coaching team he had at Barcelona for 4 years, and went for 3 years with Bayern Munich. Maybe he adopted this Pep because it was halfway through his 4th year where he felt it was time for him to move on. Maybe he got a slight inclination that players were getting bored, not really paying attention. Yeah, I've heard this before. It goes in one ear and out the other. And he thinks to himself, I ain't going to be sticking around and have you ruin my legacy, so I'll walk. But then he came to City. Dominic Torrent was first team coach for 2 years, and then he went off to New York City. For the next 18 months, Mikel Arteta was first team coach at City. I don't know who took over from Arteta from him leaving to the end of the season, but at the end of the season we got Juanma Lilo, and he's been there for 2 years. So I think Pep would have probably talked him into staying if Pep wasn't going to sign an extension. I think having him go, I don't know who's the first team coach yet or who it's going to be given to, but I think that bodes well for contract negotiations with Pep. I think Pep will sign a contract extension. I think someone will take the first team coaching role for the next 2-3 years tops, and then someone else will come in. But anyway, hopefully I'm right in that. Hopefully Pep signs a contract extension. Hopefully Pep stays till 2027, 2028, till he decides that he's had enough of club football. I know he wants to manage a national team, so maybe 2028, and then manage a national team from 2028. Give us another 6 years. But anyway, till there's anything else to report, adios amigos.